War Within expansion is going to be big for Dracthyr. First expansion that the Dracthyr are, obviously leaving the Dragon Isles and everything else. It's going to be a big deal for them. So, Dracthyr warriors, mages, and more confirmed in the War Within expansion. It's time for Dracthyr to join the rest of us and be able to play more than one class. This is exciting for anybody who's played Dracthyr, and it's exciting for the Dracthyr race moving forward. Let's hear what Mr. GM has discovered in terms of what is confirmed for the Dracthyr and their class combos.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Dracthyr, and more specifically we're going to talk about Dracthyr warriors and mages and all the other classes they're going to be during the War Within expansion, because it has been confirmed that it's going to happen. And in this video we're going to talk about where it was confirmed.
What's going on here? I mean, what is hanging off this Dracthyr? What is...
When
is this an animation issue?
And what has been...
Or that's just the cloth that hangs from the center. That Blizzard's got to fix that animation. That thing is to blow in the wind. That's very phallic.
Confirmed with the Dracthyr being other classes. But before we jump into all of that,
distracted
guys,
right as the video started.
Twitch,
like, what the hell's going on?
Mr. GM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, War Within beta, any sort of WoW, I'm over on twitch.tv/Mr. GM every single day. Right, so yes, the Dracthyr race, certainly a contentious race when it was added back in the Dragonflight expansion, of course, being exclusive to the Evoker class. Now, ever since Alpha for Dragonflight, people have always asked about, whether or not the Dracthyr will be other classes in the future. I even made a video about this at the start of Dragonflight, going through all the stuff that they said in interviews back then, and they never actually flat out denied that this is not going to happen. They just said, eventually. And throughout Dragonflight, we had various hints towards them just kind of making the Dracthyr a more evergreen sort of race that doesn't just depend on being an evoker. One of the big changes is the changes to Soar in patch 10.2.5, which made it more like dragon riding. And actually, just to add on top of that, in 11.0, in the pre-patch, you'll also be able to use static flying with Soar. Nice. So yeah, that's a nice little thing to add on there. Another thing we saw was the voice lines. We saw a ton of voice lines added in beta for the playable Dracthyr to do not enough rage and not enough mana and things like that just don't really associate with evokers. So the data's been there for a long time, but we're finally getting it during the War Within. So you're probably wondering...
a lot of people forgot about this thing. I actually had to remind a bunch of people in the comments on my own videos that they were like, what do you mean Dracthyr are getting other classes? And I was like, yeah, Mr. GM interviewed Ian and he confirmed it. But it seems like a lot of people just brushed it under the rug and didn't realize what he had said. But he had said that the Dracthyr are getting other classes, but what was it called? That they're not going to get it right at the start of the War Within. That's going to be something that comes during the expansion.
Minutes into the video, he said confirmed a bunch of times. Where was this confirmed? So a couple months ago, Blizzard ran a exclusive creator event for the War Within Alpha in London. Holly Longdale was there. You may have seen my interview with her, and Maria Hamilton. So there's a bunch of EU creators there. It really was just a really great event. But also what happened was a group interview with Ian Hazakostas. Now, I was lucky enough to be involved in this group interview along with a bunch of other creators as well. And this is actually where it was officially confirmed. So we kind of just took turns asking questions about various things. There was different types of players there, so it was a nice variety. And then it got round to me, and I asked the question I always ask in every interview, will we see any new race class combos coming in the War Within?
It's been a good question to ask lately.
This is what Ian said in response.
Well, we do. So one thing we do want to make happen is Dracthyr of a wider variety of classes. I think it makes sense that as the events of Dragonflight come to an end, as the Dracthyr emerge into Azeroth as a whole, that yes, these ancient battle-scarred warriors can learn how to wield an axe or learn how to cast a frostbolt or other such things. So I think that should be cool to have.
It makes sense in terms of
and obviously they would focus more on playing in Visage form if they want to. So I think there's a cool, aesthetic.
That was the other one. That was the other one that a lot of people missed. That Visage form comment, because I was like, wait a minute, is he saying Dracthyr will be able to fight in Visage form and stay in Visage form as long as they want? And I said that in one of my videos, and people were like, when did he say that? And this was the moment he said it. He was saying that if people want to stay in their Visage form. Here it is. I'll rewind it again for a second.
And obviously they would focus more on playing in Visage form if they want to.
Playing in Visage form if they want to.
Aesthetic there. To being able to just be a Visage form Dracthyr mage, let's say.
Right.
And beyond that, potentially, the last few classes that we haven't really gone broad with, there are some, I think, thematic and narrative challenges with.
Druid?
There are some races, for example, it's very hard to imagine being druids. I don't know what a
It's the
goblin
go-to.
druid or a mecha gnome
Everyone
druid
thinks so.
works like would look like in Astral.
A mecha gnome druid is so easy, though. It's a fucking transformer. It would be actually the coolest druid. And if they had the freaking transformer animation sound every time you transformed into a different mecha animal, oh my god, it'd be awesome.
Off culturally, in terms of their traditional background. And
I get what he's saying about the background in terms of lore.
The druids of the grove and the Cenarian Circle typically
How does that
value
work?
and welcome in. No, I'll never say never, but I don't think we have any immediate plans for further expansion like we've seen over the course of Dragonflight beyond Dracthyr.
So there's a ton to unpack there. Firstly, Visage form gameplay seems to be confirmed as something that we're going to see on these non-evoker Dracthyr, which is really cool. He also confirmed mages in that little bit. He did also confirm warriors in this little snippet here when Nate asked about adding a tank spec to Dracthyr.
It does make sense, by the way, that you could play in Visage form, because Visage form for Dracthyr is just a Blood Elf skeleton. That's all it is. So all those animations for mages, warriors, all these class animations, they're already done for that form. So it actually kind of makes things easy for them. The Dracthyr form can only be used... You cannot fight in Visage form if you're still playing it as an Evoker, and that makes sense because all those animations were meant to be played through the Evoker spec. That Evoker, like Visage, or whatever you want to call it. So that makes sense. It actually makes it work a bit easier for them.
The Dracthyr tank one. You can be a warrior.
I mean, I was going to say, Dracthyr tank, early in War Within. So just prot warrior and pick up a shield and go to town.
So yes, we can confirm that mages and warriors will be options for Dracthyr in the future, which is absolutely huge. So that'll put us at 3 classes for the Dracthyr, which are Evoker, Mage, and Warrior. So let's put on our speculation hat for a second and speculate on what else we could see from the Dracthyr race. I could definitely see a Dracthyr Hunter being a thing, Dracthyr Rogue, Priest, Warlock at a push potentially, definitely a monk, maybe a Death Knight. I don't think
a Death Knight. I mean, they already pulled them back from the Earthens, so I don't know.
I think we're gonna get Paladins, maybe though. Who knows? Druids. Probably not. Maybe shamans, potentially. And I don't think we'll ever see a Dracthyr Demon Hunter, but you never know. Funny. I might end up eating my words. But this wasn't actually the only question I asked. I did also ask another question.
I could totally see a Dracthyr Shaman. I don't know if he mentioned that, but that does make sense. I don't know. They seem somewhat in touch with the planet and the elements and things like that. I could totally see that happening. Rogue for sure, Warrior for sure, Mage already basically confirmed. Priest, I would say yes. Paladin's the one. Paladin and Druid, probably not. Hunter, yeah, why not? Be a dragon, have a pet dragon.
After that, regarding the time frame, like when could we see these Dracthyr classes coming in?
I would say one more thing: the whole Light Emperor coming, Hallowfall, all that stuff. Paladins for all could become a thing. Really, with this whole light army coming, basically, like I said, Hallowfall, the people of Hallowfall come from supposedly an empire based on the Arathi Empire that is all about the light. You could see a Paladins for all kind of thing, and maybe then Dracthyr could become Paladins.
As
Primal Dracthyr are basically shamans. Yep, exactly.
In War Within, I don't think it's. I would say I don't believe it's happening at launch, but early on in the cycle. I think there's animations that we have to get done for Dracthyr that are required for them to be able to play as other classes, because Dracthyr were originally made just to be evokers. They don't have the ability.
They only have to work on those animations though for the Dracthyr form. That's what I'm saying. Like actually fighting in your Visage form is easier on Blizzard, because those animations are already done. They're just the Blood Elf animations.
To do a variety of the required animations. We're working on that actively right now, so I can commit to it, but it's not going to be complete in time for War Within at launch.
So a ton more information there. The new classes for the Dracthyr will not be at launch unless they really push it, but it seems like it's not going to be at the launch of the War Within, but he did say as early as possible. Now, my speculation on this...
What's up, Mr. GM? It's actually only monk animations. What is that? Are you saying because Blood Elves... Can Blood Elves be monks? I didn't even think about it. But are monks confirmed yet for these guys? I have no idea.
This is that it's going to be patch
I don't think so, not yet.
11.0.5, which has
That are
actually
missing.
already
Oh,
been
okay, okay.
confirmed
Yeah, that makes
for
sense.
release at the end of this year. He did also mention that they're working on the animations for the Dracthyr, and that's something they're actively working on as well, which is super exciting just to hear about that. So
Nice
definitely
warrior.
something that's coming extremely soon, and something that they're working extremely hard on. But that wasn't just it. I did ask one last question to Ian, and that was regarding the starting experience for these brand new Dracthyr warriors, mages, and other classes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, the vibe there would be more of an allied race type situation of, yeah, you have arrived in Orgrimmar or Stormwind as a new member of the Alliance.
Yeah.
Dracthyr in general will start at level 10 going forward, as, you know, Dracthyr Vokers will start at the beginning of their Dragonflight experience and level up from there.
Okay.
War Within. So I think Dracthyr, other classes would also start similar to allied races in that.
That makes sense. Yeah, actually, the current Dracthyr, that's right. You can't, I didn't even think about it. You would be able to play through the current Dracthyr starting quest line because that has a lot to do with doing a bunch of the evoker abilities, right? To free things, to do things. Some of those quests are literally tied to evoker abilities, so you wouldn't be able to do that. So that makes sense. Yeah, you'll just have kind of an allied race starting.
Regard.
So a few more
starting
little
quest
tidbits of information confirmed there. These Dracthyr will act more like an allied race, so they're going to be
That makes
starting at
sense.
level 10. Probably have a very, very brief starting experience where they do like 1 or 2 quests and then jump into Orgrimmar or Stormwind.
Yeah.
Kind of expected, really. You wouldn't expect them to go through the, you know, original Dracthyr Evoker starting zone. Just kind of pop up in the main cities. But yeah, there you go, guys. That is all the information we have about these brand new Dracthyr other race class combos coming in the War Within. It's really nice to get this confirmed. Honestly, it's just exciting. It's just really, really exciting. One thing I do want them to do,
is.
hopefully, with this is, you know, add some different options for transmog for the dragon form, because, you know, obviously it's very much male-based with the way that it looks right now. So it'd be really nice to get some additions like that look like cloth or plate or leather in the future. But we'll have to see what happens with that.
I didn't even think about that. He's right. And another nice thing about being able to play in Visage form, at least if they don't make changes to the Dracthyr armor sets, is, yeah, you'd be able to see your transmog finally.
Of course, you will also
While
have
you're
the
fighting.
choice to just play in Visage form, which also has some incredible
like you're saying
customizations
here.
as well. So, yeah, lots of exciting things. Be curious to see what they do with the racials as well. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, certainly an exciting time, and no doubt when it does come onto a PTR or a test realm, we'll be covering it completely on the channel. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of Dracthyr for other classes. What classes would you like to see a Dracthyr be? Is that something you're interested in as well? I don't know. I feel like people don't talk about it that much, but I'm certainly think it would be pretty cool to see that being expanded on. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. Going to see me stream World of Warcraft,
There he is.
War Within Alpha, War Within Beta, any sort of World of Warcraft, guys. I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Yep, I can vouch for it. Good stream. We watch it all the time. We rate it all the time. Yeah, great stuff. The one thing I would say, he asked at the end, what would you like to see? Honestly, if they did Death Knight, one thing I would really like to see is, because Death Knight with humans, you get those extra kind of facial animation, the facial customization options, right? The ones that kind of look undead. I would love to see Dracthyr Death Knights get some kind of like undead looking Dracthyr forms, right? Like a dragon that's maybe more scarred, kind of looks like it's been through battle. And you already have like those broken horn customizations and everything, but maybe something with the eyes, more scars on the face, you know, looking like, yes, they were in fact raised by the Lich King in Undeath, and now they're playing as a Death Knight. I personally think that would be amazing, like a Syndragosa almost style customization. I don't know, but it would be really cool to see that. Dracthyr DK Breath, their own Icy Plague Breath. Yeah, man, there's some cool potential because there are Dragon Syndragosa tie-ins already to a lot of abilities for Death Knights. So yes, a Dracthyr Death Knight kind of would be a cool one to see. Very nice video from Mr. GM. We'll have to check this one out. I'll throw this one in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in as well while we were reacting to your own video, Mr. GM. Shout out to him in the chat.